everyone. Tom Carroll come in, was excellent. Raheem Harper was a credit to himself when he come on. We've been playing Raheem as a defensive midfielder, and it probably doesn't quite suit him in the role. You've seen him today when he's got more grass to run forward in and more talent to go and show the supporters, and he was again. Macaulay Bonds goal, so we're happy, but don't forget we took a small step. Yeah. As I say, that's all, guys, and it was a little benchmark today of how hard we've got to work to be a good team. And I'm just so pleased for our supporters. I'm pleased for Mark and the chairman. I honestly am. And I'm also pleased most of all for the players, because that is the confidence booster that they needed.
Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and I come to you today positive and happy. Town have finally won a game, and we showed guts, we showed glory, determination, and of course we are here today to discuss it. Happy, smiley people, the chat is positive. But if you're watching this, do drop us a like. If you're watching back, drop us a like. If you're listening to us on all audio platforms, of course, go ahead and give us a 5-star positive review to round off a great weekend. Don't forget, Talking Town is totally unfiltered, 100% passionate ITFC platform that doesn't just ask the fans what they are thinking, but of course gives them the opportunity to have their say. And thanks to you, Talking Town is, of course, an FCA Best EFL National Podcast 2021 finalist. Something I still can't get my head around. And thanks to you, wonderful people, I'm going to be going. I need to find somebody to go with. I realised I don't have any friends, so I need to find somebody. And hopefully I'll be feeling much better by then. I'm, of course, your host, The Gov. You know who I am by now. And this afternoon, with the perfect accompaniment to the best cut of beef or lamb for your Sunday roast. I know Colin probably is having a roast. I look forward to the pictures he sends through later. But first up, let me just say a huge thank you, as I always do, to these wonderful, truly remarkable TT Fifth Stand Ultras. They truly are remarkable, and they make this platform rock and roll. Without the people you see on your screen, none of what you would see would even be possible, because they support the platform with their monthly Ko-Fi contribution, and we are able to bring you multiple live shows a week and even a live match day show from outside Portman Road, while also upgrading our equipment, going wireless with the microphones, all sorts of different things to try and bring you the best in ITFC content. If you're not on this list, and there are a few of you that aren't on the list, and that will be rectified as soon as I get a spare moment, but if you get value from what we do, then please head to the Ko-Fi link in the chat or in the description of this show and set up a cancel anytime monthly contribution, such as £5 or £10 a month. That would be truly, truly great, but only if you can, and maybe a bit more if you feel like you get more value from us. Regardless of whether you support us or not, content will always be free at the point of use, and you will always have a family right here with Talking Town. So yesterday, a 1-0 win. Love it. Let me play a Cookie clip, and Matt, who isn't feeling very well either, I can see him now using some sort of Sudafed. He will be out on the other side. This is Cookie on what it meant to us fans.
Just a massive, massive pat on the back to the players and the supporters. When you get beat 5-2 at home, you have a tough week. Yeah. You really do, as fans, as everybody else. And then you've got an away trip to Lincoln. It doesn't get any tougher. Yeah. Lincoln are a really good side. Penetration everywhere, good players, and they tested us. First half, I thought we controlled the game really well and played well. Second half, when Aidan Coulson's come off, we've had to dig in. And Lincoln asked many questions of us, and the questions I've been asking of the players, that are we a bit soft? And we can go under, not today. And a massive pat on the back to them. They've laid a benchmark down now of how hard we must work to win games. And again, I'm delighted for them, delighted for everyone. When we haven't won, it was tough. We're a big club, the signings, but we stayed consistent. And you look at the supporters going home tonight, delighted. I'm so happy for them.
Matt, there we go. Paul Cook there on what it meant to the fans. A week ago, we stood outside Portman Road and we heard that Cambridge, or a week or so ago, that Cambridge had Lincoln's result. We were worried about going to play Lincoln. but we found some guts and glory. First of all, how are you? I know you're not well, so how are you, sir?
To be honest with you, I've probably failed the fitness test, but I've, I'm not missing the town. I'm not missing a show where the town have got 3 points. Unbelievable. So pleased. I'm so pleased yesterday. I put out yesterday, I'm praying they can win for him. Because, me and Rich have been big advocates of cookies, and it's not gone well for whatever reason. I don't know why. And yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at the 2 results back to back, a 5-2 to Bolton and a 2-1 to West Ham, and we were like, oh, it felt like the world was ending. And then somehow, I don't know, now we're seeing those little green shoots. Now we're seeing a little bit of progression. We saw a solid performance yesterday, a deserved win. Those Lincoln media were getting salty over the goal. Well, gutted.
I've got the goal. We're playing that in just a second. But they were getting really salty. Michael Finch says roast beef, Yorkshire puds, new potatoes, carrots, gravy. Are you a beef, lamb, or a chicken man? Because I'm a lamb, so that's why I put that in the intro.
I would default to poultry each time, but I would say, beef is good. I like chicken and turkey. That's what I like.
Beef is it's a temperamental meat though, isn't it? Sometimes you can buy a good bit and it's good.
The missus would go beef or lamb. That's where she's at.
Lamb is where it's at, mate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I haven't eaten a thing today. I can't face it, which is not like me. If you've ever met me, you know the size I am, and you don't get that. You don't get that body. Trust me. Putting a few roasts down your throat. Sorry, man.
I've had a croissant. I've gone continental.
Oh, of course you have. Yeah, of course you have. Belly of Pork says bald and blue. Right. Let's bring the cruncher in and let's get cracking into this Sunday roast of a talk in town. I have got the full-time reaction from the fans, and this man, the cruncher, was a part of this mob that witnessed the 1-0 and had this reaction.
Did you see me? Did you see me?
I didn't. You there?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm climbing on my seat after the game.
Oh,
the coach gives me a big cuddle. It wasn't my only cuddle yesterday, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Fair enough. We'll leave that to what goes on tour stays on tour.
Romance,
as they say. But Rich, 1-0 victory, guts, glory, determination. Obviously, first of all, those fans, you're one of those. That euphoria moment. Talk us through that when that full-time whistle went. What did you feel, and what do you think it means?
It's a funny one, wasn't it? Because the linesman, fourth official, put the board up, and then there was no numbers, just a couple of dashes come up on it. So we didn't actually know how long, because with the scoreboard, with the clock was obviously above us. But we kicked off about 2 minutes past. So I said to Callie and Colin, I thought it'd be probably about 5 minutes, but then he added on, was it 7?
7?
Yeah. They got me walnuts.
Here we go. But we see the game out pretty well, I thought. But obviously you're nervous, aren't you guys, when you're 1-0 up away from home, because the way we've been throwing away games, you're just hoping that it was going to be everyone kept their heads, done the simple things, and in the end we did, and it was fantastic at full time. Great reaction. Obviously Mark Ashton come out, he was high-fiving all the fans, and it showed what it meant to him, because obviously it's been a tough time. I
was thinking, Rick, if that was his response to beating Lincoln 1-0 away, what would it be like if we were at Wembley or whatever?
Someone tweeted me saying he looked like he had a bottle of wine at half time, but he was. I'm really pleased for everyone in the club, and hopefully this can be the sort of building block to better things, because it's right. It is only 1 win in 7. Let's not get carried away.
Says,
let's not get carried away. But it is something to build on now with 2 home games to come.
Let's get a few comments. Duncan Farrow, good afternoon, one and all. I hope you feel better soon, guys. Thank you very much, Duncan. I think Alex is the winning genie. Positive. His sheepshanks rousing words were taken on board by the players. Good old Alex on the Thursday show. Yeah. Hock says pleased, but let's remember, as you just said there, Crunch, it's 1 win in 7. Let's build from here. Very true. We'll come to that a bit later on, I'm sure. Because I asked yesterday on the full-time show, building block or plaster over a gaping wound. And I know what I hope it is. And I know what you two hope it is, and we'll discuss that a bit later, I'm sure, or on tomorrow's show. Julian Roll, when Cook punched the sky to his late father in the post-match interview, I nearly blubbed. I have that. We're closing the show with that. We're closing for the show with that for a reason, because I played it in the show. I would blub again all over. Dean Lomax, that's what it's all about: passion, faith, and trust. Owen Griffiths, afternoon all. Cook's interview regarding his dad. Got a little tear in my eye. Hope you're all well.
not that well, but we're here.
we're all feeling like we've celebrated a win, but we just.
Well, I've had 3 hours sleep and I feel absolutely shattered.
Why did you have 3 hours sleep?
Oh, you know why I had 3 hours sleep.
Oh yeah, because you were out. I mean, you haven't mentioned it much. Like,
ow.
You even phoned me up to tell me you were going out. I'm like, I think you've mentioned it a couple of times, Rich. You don't go out often, do you?
Decent night. Even had some Dodgems there, Matt.
Really?
Yeah.
That Godolphin dollar, yeah?
Yeah.
Have you ever done Dodgems after a few beers?
Oh, yeah. The Dodgems every year there. It was a little bit toned down this year. So I think the first party, when I've worked there 12 years, the first party I went to, they had stilt walkers, fire eaters. Never seen anything like it. Look, it was still good. Everything was free bar, free grub. Yeah, decent. Throwing a few shapes on the dance for all those guys at the end. So all good.
One of my friends used to work for Crystal Palace, and Simon Jordan used to throw a Christmas party like at the Dorchester or something. Everything was free. Food, rooms to stay over, whatever. Yeah.
Very nice.
That's right.
Yeah. That is nice. I love a good party on a company credit card. Yeah. So yesterday, 1-0, lots of talking points. Where do you two want to start? I think I'll ask Crunch that question because he was there. Where do you want to start, Crunch? You can set the tone for the first.
Start with the goalkeeper.
Love it. Let's go for it.
I think we were all, when that team news come through, we never know because he never gives anything away, does he now, Cook? So
no, he doesn't.
You're always waiting at 2:00 when that team news comes through and you're looking down the names. The way we are at the minute, we're picking up 1 or 2 injuries a week in training, aren't we? So it was interesting to see when his name was on the team sheet. Obviously, he hadn't covered himself in any glory so far. No. But I thought yesterday he didn't have that much to do, but what he did do, he was assured and he was a bit calmer. I thought yesterday it probably helped that the two centre halves in front of him. I know Wolfen had come on second half, but they were heading everything and they looked like a proper partnership. But it was like yesterday, everyone done. It was like chalk and cheese when it from the Bolton game. Everyone yesterday done their jobs, but they also played as a team, and it wasn't like 11 individuals on the field. But yeah, I thought Alaki had a decent game, and it's a bit of a conundrum now for Cook because I did say, I think I said it to Callie or Colin. It's like we don't want to get into that situation we had a couple of years ago when we had Will Norris and Holy, and they were playing a few games, then you change it again. But yeah, it was obvious, look, because he's had his confidence knocked because he didn't play in the week.
No.
It would have been interesting what had happened I know he didn't, but if Holy had a decent performance in the week, would he have got a game? But we don't know that. No. But yeah, I thought like he'd done all right, and I was really pleased for him. Got a clean sheet, and hopefully, I would have thought he'd played Saturday, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I can say who now starts next Saturday. Now you've got a situation where Walton let in 5. I often say a keeper's only as good as his defence, but he did let in 5, and now Ladke's come back out of the wilderness, kept a clean sheet. It'd be very harsh to drop him and bring Walton back, wouldn't it? After yesterday,
you don't go through six. You go through a season not winning a game, and when you do win, you change it. You now have to leave it. What was is back in Saturday until it breaks again. Bald Blue says. And rightly so. He says, Haladki, number 3 to number 1 in a week and a clean sheet. Week before he'd left out of the squad altogether. Just how mentally tough did he have to be yesterday, Matt, to come in knowing he'd lost his place, knowing he slipped to the bench, out of the squad, and be away from home against a strong Lincoln side, And he did well. He held everything. He commanded the area, I felt, yesterday.
Yeah, he done great. Again, it comes down to mindset, isn't it? We've always said Ipswich haven't had the strongest mindset, and like Cook said in the week, we're a bit of a soft touch. But he was anything but a soft touch yesterday. That is difficult to come back. He's probably feeling a bit. He's come with a fanfare, some of it from this show, and as the League Two's best keeper, he hasn't had a very good start. He's looked nervous. He's given goals away, 2 per game. He gets ditched out. Walton comes in, and then suddenly he returns in a pressure situation. Because he's pressure on the manager, and we know what kind of week Paul Cook had in his family life, and he's delivered for him. fantastic, absolutely brilliant. He can hold his head high after that yesterday. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about changing the goalie there, Crunch. Is it about putting players in best position to succeed? So if you do change it Saturday and heaven forbid Walton makes that mistake, it's almost a setup to foul. Now with one, like, you have to go again with a clean sheet and the victory.
Yeah, I think it was his abductor, wasn't it? They said Walton. So how long that is, we don't know. But look, Alecki plays again Saturday for me. He's played well. And it's like he's got to be mentally strong, Matt, because he knows coming in that game, he's thinking, yeah, I've not done well here. If I throw another one in here, when am I going to get another run in the team this season? So he's grabbed it with both hands, and it's like the old managers used to say, if you play well, you keep the shirt. So, fair enough. He stays in. Stays in for me.
Absolutely. Yeah. And he held everything yesterday, which I felt was great. You know, nothing was spilled. Matt, where do you want to go then? You had an Alecki. I'll let you pick the bag into the bag of topics. Where do you want to go?
Well, it was great to see. I'm going to go the back four. It was great to see them because it was shambolic in that Bolton game. Absolutely shambolic. And, you know, and we said, I think it was unanimous yesterday, wasn't it? That Donatian was man of the match and he looked solid. And like I said yesterday, he reminded me of a little bit of Toto when he's on form. You shall not pass. And it was brilliant to see. And Edmondson looked a different player. So they've obviously worked a little bit during the week on that partnership with Burgess. And even when Coulson had to go off and they brought Wolfenden on and Burgess went over to the left, again, they still looked... nothing was frantic. There was none of this sort of slapstick comedy. The ball's hit Edmondson in the face. It's rebounded to someone. They've scored the goal. Do you know what I mean? It was almost like, you know, comedy of errors last week, and it was anything but yesterday. So, you know, Paul Cook said, what is the secret to success is going to be is us repetition on the training ground and applying it in games. And you saw it yesterday. It was brilliant. It was a pressure game, wasn't it? It was lively, that crowd, wasn't it, Rich? It was really coming across on the radio and watching it back on the video.
Yeah, it's a great atmosphere. You know, I think there was 1,800 Town fans. The Lincoln fans were loud. They got really strange little setup there, man. They got a really nice stand on the far side, like that main stand. Yeah. And along like where the dugouts were, they've got sort of one stand plonked in the middle, and then they've got it. Well, I'd say it's like a conservatory. Colin called it a conservatory. I'd call it like a bike shed with a few. Look, I don't think it's temporary in the corner. It's just weird. But I know down the other end they did say Lincoln. They're building a new stand. You know, the other end where Bond scored the goal, because that's like a little. It's only got about 6 rows in, but it's a great atmosphere. The players they got the back in for the full 90 minutes, and it's nice to go away, isn't it? I know your home games is your bread and butter, but you go on the road and you take that sort of support. I mean, we'll take a lot of support wherever we go this season because there'll be some really good away days, I think.
Do you think the back four played complementary football this week instead of previous weeks, with Donatian being, and all due respect to Donatian, great game, man of the match. A man of the match performance from Donatian, but he is a limited fullback.
I did say, didn't I, Friday? It wouldn't matter to me if he didn't cross the halfway line, and I think second half. He got for a little bit in the first half, but they didn't leave any gaps there, Martin. You know, there was no gaps for them to exploit. So if he does his job, they did miss Coulson when he got off because he gave him that outlet, didn't he, in the first half? There was him, Fraser, Selina, done some lovely little triangles down that left-hand side. And you know what you get when you put your big centre-half left-back? You know, it reminded me a little bit of Burgess when he went there. This lad did get forward. He reminded me of Herman Ariderson, Matt, because he was like a 6'4" centre-half, wasn't he? And he just marauded forward. But Burgess didn't cross the halfway line. And that did invite a little bit of pressure on, I think, the second half, because we didn't really have an outlet. But
they never looked like scoring particularly, did they? The one effort they did get was well offside. But yeah, you're right. Burgess is in that Herman role. I used to love that guard to Herman long ball that we're all used to playing.
Do you feel, because we've got such a wealth of attacking players, that if you just play a limited back four and allow Coulson to do what Coulson does, you play better, because the back four tend to just get the ball, release it into midfield, and then you let your attacking flair players just go and play without any defensive responsibilities. Like, you're not asking Selina to run 60 yards because you've got Donatian at right back still. So you've got a minimum of 3 back all the time. Whereas previous weeks, you've had KVY further forward than the winger. And that's where it sort of fell down, do you feel, Matt, when we've lost the ball and teams have transitioned so quickly on us because you've had two fullbacks high up the pitch, and it's basically a 2v2 or a 2v3 or whatever situation. Whereas yesterday you didn't have that, did you?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of how Italy probably won the Euros. You know, they're not reliant on Bonucci or Cellini or their fullbacks to score goals. So I think, you just let the attacking six do their job. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And like Rich said, Afolayan was just like streets ahead of KVY for whatever reason.
Was Maguire injured? Was Maguire injured when he went off yesterday for them? And they took him off early?
I think he was.
Yeah. I don't know. Didn't hear on the radio.
Yeah, I got the impression he was injured. But if you don't concede, you ain't going to lose games. We've conceded far too many goals. But
that is obvious. That is
McCarthy.
That is as simple as that, isn't it, Matt? It is as simple as that. Kick the ball out your net. Yeah. You're always going to have half a chance.
We've got abundance of attack. We've got abundance of attacking options. You just keep that back four solid and let the front six do the bit. Yeah.
Okay, right. You mentioned at the start of the show, salty Lincoln fans. Let's have the goal. Let's discuss Macaulay Bonne and discuss, was it a foul or wasn't it a foul? Here's the goal. You just
10 millimetres away from taking the lead then in this game after 29 minutes. Coulson. Town maybe buoyed by that effort on goal. Coulson plays a good looking ball into the box. Bonne with a header and a goal! It's 4 goals in 3 games from Macaulay Bonne. That was a peach of a ball from Coulson right onto his forehead, and the bullet header flashed beyond Griffiths, and just before the half-hour mark at Stinsel Bank, it's Lincoln 0, Ipswich Town 1. Now can they hold on to a lead?
He's done that already. Coulson whipped in a ball before that. That's a great ball in, and Bonne's just saying header. And I tell you what that is, as a centre.
Macaulay Bonne with the header. Was it a foul first and foremost?
Well, the guy, the Lincoln defender, there is a hand there, right? I don't think anyone can deny there's a hand there, but not enough for him to suddenly dive towards the penalty spot. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The referees, I think the referee and the officials saw it. They didn't give it. Gutted. We've had that, when we had that huge row about the Sunderland penalty in our last season. End of the day, the ref's given it.
I felt if we ever short of a diver in the diving team, give him a call, because I felt he felt the littlest of touches, Rich, and he's gone flying like he's been shot out of a cannon.
He's probably way stronger there, isn't he? That's not enough to knock him. That's not enough to knock him over like he went over, is it? Come on.
Exactly. No. Even the momentum wouldn't make you, in my opinion, go that way. I suggested on the full-time show, Rich, and let's see if you agree, because you're a great coach, one of the most respected coaches on this platform.
It's great guys as well.
I know. I said, the defender there, you're teaching him, be strong. Don't let the push beat you. And there's an attacking coach who's saying, aggressively attack that ball, because you either win it or the referee gives a foul. But if you don't aggressively attack the ball, it's a wasted chance. Is that really how it was? Both should have been aggressive, and only one wanted it more.
Bonne wanted it more, didn't he? He's getting his head on that.
Yeah.
And then he's making that. Look, the referee's got a decision to make, and he's obviously thought it was a foul. If I was Lincoln, I'd be worrying about why they didn't stop the cross, because he's had acres there, Coulson, to go into, hasn't he? Really, there's nothing near him. Great ball.
Yeah, great ball.
We actually we met his dad before the game, chatted to him for about 25 minutes. What a guy he is, Stephen Coulson. He was there with his other son. Brilliant. Typical Geordie. I would say if you ever have him on the show, though, you're going to have to get subtitles out.
Don't worry, we'll try our best.
He's a really nice guy. He was down there with his son. They'd come down on the train. They'd had a few beers, and it was a real shame, wasn't it, when Hayden went off. He's got to have a scan tomorrow, so hopefully he's nothing too serious.
It's nice to see someone who's on loan at the club in Hayden Coulson, his family taking such an active interest, and also we know they watch the platform. It's brilliant, fantastic to get involved like that. It's great.
Everyone does, from the owners down. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, you're the podfather, Martin. Absolutely.
It's the place to be. I made you an offer you couldn't refuse. I said yesterday to Amy, Matt, Scowcroft Clapham-esque that was, because the ball in from Coulson looked like a Jamie Clapham ball in the box, and Bonne attacked it like Scully would always attack it and get his head onto it. Did you see those vibes there?
Yeah, now you've said it. Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of what we missed last season under Lambert, wasn't it? It was those kind of balls.
We missed a lot of things.
Yeah. You can imagine maybe Norwood get on the end of that cross. I mean, he did similar, even though it was a volley at Hull, didn't he? When we won 1-0 there, that was kind of a similar that was kind of similar. But yeah, just fantastic. We look much more clinical now, don't we? We can actually score from a half chance, which is what happens when you've got really good strikers. And we didn't have that last season. And somehow, when Cook came in, we were still in the playoff zone by some miracle. But there you go.
I'm famous for anointing players a little bit too early, right? So I'll roll with that. That's a good reputation I'll roll with. Raheem Harper Player of the Year. Hayden Coulson, well, you know, I don't mind. I'll admit my failures. There's a lot of them. I said Hayden Coulson, best left back since Aaron Cresswell. And the Don on a show said, well, I want to see a decent ball in the box before I say that. You ready now, Rich, to say Hayden Coulson is our best left back since Aaron Cresswell. Ball in the box was superb. Can defend, can step across, can do everything at fullback. That most
not
fullbacks
including Tyrone Mings there. Are you not including Mings in there?
I can't forgive Mings for that, giving that ball away in the playoff semi-final still. Just can't do it.
Mings
Which one? The one where Redmond scored?
I don't think Mings put balls in like that, did he? Not to that level.
I thought Park should have done better with that, to be quite honest.
Less of that.
He's
sacrilege on a Sunday.
He's a really good player. I do get that. His dad was showing us on his phone. He's got some goals when he was a youngster at Middlesbrough, Matt. And I think there was one against. I don't know. It looked like it was Everton, and he just from the halfway line just dribbled his way through. He's a really good attacking fullback. He's everything that Donacien isn't, but that doesn't worry me. You know, if you can have that yin and yang, can't you? If he's going to go forward, you know, the Don, as we're going to call him now, Donacien, that's a real big chance for Donacien. I said to Colin yesterday, he's always been sort of a bit part player, hasn't he? He comes on, someone gets injured, he'll come on, might have the odd 2 or 3 games. He knows now that's the type of level that he's got to perform at every week. And if he does, he'll keep his place. And KVY, he won't be getting back in the team. No chance.
Mm-hmm. The beauty of Donacien, of course, he can play on the left side as well, which is where everyone else seems to play it. Yeah. When he's like Accrington on that. But yeah, you're absolutely right. And Lambert never rated him for whatever reason. As soon as he arrived, didn't he? He was out of the picture because they were worked together at Villa all them years back.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and he's Donacien, you know, interesting player because he's been out on loan, hasn't he, Matt? Last year, that did well at Fleetwood. Yeah. Come back in, worked hard, kept his noggin down.
Left side there, didn't he? Left side of a 3 he played at Fleetwood, didn't he? Under Simon Grayson.
Yeah. So at least it gives us that utility aspect if Coulson's going to be out for a couple, 3 weeks, whatever it might be.
He's just Swiss Army knife, isn't he? He can kind of do everything at a 6 out of 10 level, which is what you want. You know, he just steady heading, and every great team.
Does that hold him back though? Because you have utility players sometimes. When they can play in a number of positions, it's like you can play there, shifting them all over the place. When sometimes it's good just to have one string to your bow, and then. But yeah, I was really impressed. That's the best game I've seen him play for Town yesterday. You know, Scully was probably their main threat. Yeah, and he didn't really get in the game, did he? He had a lot of ball, but he never got beyond him, never got around him. He done his job top class, I thought.
Do you feel it holds him back then, Matt? Or do you feel actually at centre-half he's not tall enough or strong enough? At right-back he's not marauding enough, and at left-back he's not a natural left winger? Is that what really holds him back? Or is it the fact, as Crunchy is sort of alluding to there, that he is that utility player?
Does it hold him back? I feel like probably the previous regime has held him back a little bit because, as you always say, Martin, like first impressions count a lot in football. And you know, Lambert sent him away. Then he wasn't in part of the team. Then he's gone on loan to Fleetwood, or he went to Accrington, didn't he? Then he went to Fleetwood. He's been on loan at 2 spells over the last couple of years. Now he's come back in. I think utility options is really good. You know, you can slot if you go. You know, people forget KVY could play over on the left side as well. But I think it's all good at this level. If you've got utility options at this level, brilliant.
Yeah.
Face the user, Jamie Clapham. He now works at Loughborough University.
There we go.
Strength in depth, isn't it? Strength in depth.
Yeah, and you mentioned first impressions. My first impression of JD was a good one. He played centre-half on his debut. Yeah, looked really good, I felt. And I still feel now, actually looking back, he probably would have done no worse than Matt Pennington through that season at centre-half. And who knows where it would have gone. Because he is a centre-half, I still think, playing the right-back. And that's his strongest position is in that middle. Let's get a few comments. We've got Facebook user, Ashton let out. Sorry, I can't read all of that today. I struggled out yesterday evening. I really did. Ben Moore, wouldn't make movement like that. Simple step in behind, full to defender and good finish.
I disagree with that because James Norwood, he scored a goal against Bristol Rovers when Luke Garber put a cross in like that yesterday with a header. So I don't
be too harsh on him. I feel like he would have scored that as well if given the opportunity.
Positive Tucks. Too early to tell whether these players are better than previous, but one thing is for sure: these players need consistency and are running the team.
Yeah.
Tractor Boy Botswana. What is one at doing? Let him play like that. Go. Yeah.
His dad told us that he's not Hayden's biggest fan, so he likes big 6'4" defenders across the board.
Yeah, Tucks. Glad to see Halati back in the side.
Yeah, didn't be done then. Maybe.
Need promotion first. Like, this is what the Bond situation is, isn't it? You know, people were saying we should. Bond will only come if we're promoted permanent, I believe, because he wants to play Championship football. He's too good for League One so far.
Yeah.
How many goals did you say Matty get?
20. I said 20 plus.
Yeah, he's well on the way there.
On the way, isn't he? It's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Play of the year, I said as well. We'll see.
Matt Stannard, Gov, we need to get you an Alexa to read long comments out. Right, let's have a word from our fantastic partners at Away Day Beers, and I've got competition running, which you should get your eyes and your fingers right around. Obviously, we all love an Away Day Beers here, and I've got competition running over on all social media. So if you're on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, this applies to you. You can enter on all three. It's as easy as ABC. All you need to do is go to the Talking Town account on Twitter, Ipswich Town FC Forum on Facebook, or the Talking Town Instagram account, and do as it asks, which is follow the account and then tag a friend who you think would love an Away Days beer. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, and your friends will love you because trust me, they will like an Away Day beer. And if you do that, you will be entered into a prize draw to win possibly a pack of the new beers. Have either of you received any of those new beers yet?
I haven't.
Yeah.
I'm not in the labels though.
I heard a rumour there might be some coming to us. Possibly.
Oh, I like that.
Josh is coming down. I think he's at the Wednesday and the Doncaster game.
Is he? So you'll see him live on the show.
Get him on. They're great labels, aren't they? The Kit Factor. Let's hope that guy, the Kit Factor, is involved in the new strips over seasons to come because his designs are brilliant, I think.
I really am intrigued by the Portman Road one, just because of the label. To be fair, I want to see what it's like. I want to, you can always, it's like a Werther original. I always feel. And I'm looking forward to trying it. But yes, so if you want to go and win, it's free to enter. It takes you 10 seconds. It's nice and easy, and we're supporting a local business that is run
You don't get a lot free. You don't get a lot free in this world, do you?
You do from us, Crunch. You do from us.
Simple, guys. Simple.
You do from me. The podcast.
Utopian world in Talking Town.
Utopian world. Right. Where do you want to go next with yesterday's 1-0 victory? We've done Bond. We've done the back four. Let's go midfield.
Do you want to do Raheem Harper?
Would you do Paul Cook? Because I feel Raheem Harper and Paul Cook go hand in hand in this occasion.
Do it.
It was interesting what he said, didn't he, in his post-match when he said he's probably played him in the wrong position.
Yeah.
The managers to come out and say that is because a lot of them, they always think they're right, don't they? They're managers. Yeah. They're sort of bulletproof, don't want to admit they're wrong. But I thought yesterday when he came on, he showed in, was it 25 minutes he was on? I thought he was really good going forward, and he gave us a bit of an outlet there. I thought he was strong.
Yeah.
But I thought Tom Carroll yesterday, I see Amy on the post-match when she was on about Evans and Carroll. He didn't see a lot of them. They just done their jobs. They went about their jobs, no frills. And that's what you want, And I thought Carroll was probably, 6, 7 out of 10. Kept the ball moving, recycled it well. It'd be interesting because Morty's going to come straight in, isn't he, when he's available Tuesday week against Doncaster. So I would think Carroll will probably be the one.
Is he? I mean, if he loses at the weekend,
he's not sitting on the bench, Morty. No chance.
You don't temper with something that ain't like right now. It's not broke. We've won a game of football. You start all over again. The season starts from yesterday. You don't go and play with that, in my opinion. Regardless, you could have Lionel Messi. He comes off the bench for 20 minutes because you've won a game.
You know what happened? We might do all right against Sheffield Wednesday, and then we'll play Doncaster and we'll struggle. And then people will say, Morty's on the bench. Why didn't he start him? I can hear it now. Because that's what football fans are like. Why didn't you play him? He's available. He's a nailed-on starter for me in that spine of that team.
Well, I think
it's like when Wolfenden went out for Edmondson. That was harsh because Wolf's done all right, apart from that Morecambe game, the first game. But he wants the best players in the best positions. Morsi comes in and he's your captain. Nailed on.
Oh, I agree. I think he will. I just think that
you don't want to change your winning team, Martin, is what you're saying.
Yeah, spot on. How do you feel?
Well, yeah, I agree, but I don't think Morsey would have come here unless he was guaranteed the captain's armband, and
don't get sent off then. Like,
yeah, and form aside, I think he'd be, a nailed-on starter. I mean, look, we know he's got a partnership with Evans, and Evans and Harper have struggled. And as Rich says there, Cook has said, well, we've asked Harper to play in a position he's not accustomed to, which is interesting because that's not been floated before. And we've been quite harsh on him, saying, he drifts in and out of games. So what actually is his true position? Chris told us he started off as a striker, didn't he? So maybe that's why he looked quite good in that 3 yesterday. But
I really liked him behind the striker when he came on, pasting the power and making the forward runs. Yeah. It is interesting you say that, because even at times when he's brought Carroll onto the pitch and left Evans and Harper, it's always been Evans he's moved more advanced than Harper. But now, obviously, he's maybe reflected, looked at game film as he says he does, and changed tack. And I want to discuss that a moment, because I felt yesterday Paul Cook did a lot of things that he maybe necessarily doesn't normally do, such as moving Harper centrally, because he's looked at the situation and admitted a mistake. And I felt yesterday, apart from one sub, he got everything spot on, Crunch.
Yeah, James Hobson there in the chat. Harper's a number 10 sub is a good and it is a good option. It's another option in a forward position. I see the full-time show this morning. You would have put another striker on when he put
I would
Luke
have
on.
Shifted Bon out to a wing position because he's got pace. He can still run the channel, but I would have brought on a Pigott or a Norwood just to disrupt and Joey Garner, the Lincoln back to that last kick, because the ball was flying forward and it was coming straight back again. And that's inviting pressure, and that's when you can see, because you're not getting the outlet, you're not holding it up, you're not winning free kicks, all of those different things. And that's what Norwood or Pigott can both do. But
that was most of the second half there. The ball was not really sticking up front. But I said to Colin, and Colin was like 15 minutes in the second half. I said, listen, Lincoln are a good side. They're playing at home. They're going to have spells in the game. They're 1-0 down. They're going to attack us. That's just... And maybe if we were playing a better side, possibly it could have come back to bite us. You're always nervy when you're 1-0 up. But I think yesterday, there you go, look, Fisherman. Cook's been listening to the Fisherman, obviously.
You want to rewind the show a bit there, Fisherman? I got a little nugget for you, a little Easter egg, as they call them. Just for you, I love him, really. He's a great guy. Tux, agree with Martin's sentiment regarding keeping the same team. However, Morsey is an exception. Yeah, I do agree. Arguably the most important run on the team, interlinking the gap. But for everything you say about the fans there, Crunch, Matt, I can hear the fans already saying on the shows, if Morsey comes in and when we lose and we've got 2 positive results, why didn't he keep it the way it was? It wasn't broke.
Well, yeah, but then you
can't win.
It's either or, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. You're not going to win. I'm pretty certain Morsey would come in. He wouldn't have come to this club unless he was guaranteed the skipper's armband. And I think he will come in. I thought Carroll did all right yesterday, but Morsey's he's not a great player, as we said previously. And I think we're going to need that in some of these games. Certainly, for Doncaster, fighting for their lives. Bottom of the table, by the way. I think they won actually yesterday, did they not? Their first week. So, every game's different, right? There's some games where you want that technical expertise that, Carroll brings you. Other games, you're going to need the wily veteran like a Morsey.
Ben Moore wants to play Norwood and Bon and play Pigott as well. That's never happening this season.
He needs to put down Football Manager. That's crazy, Ben. Absolutely.
He only gave Coulson a 5 yesterday.
Okay. Harsh,
Ben is harsh, isn't he? He's a critic now. He's got the microphone in front of him on a match day. Listen to it. Young Pep Guardiola. I still see Morsey though, Rich, is that yesterday you needed him coming off the bench, Liam Bridcut in the play. Because Liam Bridcut,
he's been around years, hasn't he? He was good for Brighton, I remember, back in the Jewel era. I've always quite liked him.
Kicks people. That's sort of his role, isn't it? He just goes around kicking people.
We're going to get to that in a minute when we do my crunch and tackle about kicking people.
Yes, we are. Actually, let's do that now, because that's quite a good one. Right, there we go. Let's have the crunch and tackle. Oh, no, that's my intro. Take it away, Maestro.
So, you're on about Sammy Morsey. The red card he received for Borough, I think it was against Blackburn, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. They appealed it, didn't get rescinded, absolutely nothing. Now, yesterday, Kenilworth Road, Luton were playing Swansea, and Luton were 3-0 up in the first half. And so Ryan Manning is the Swansea left back. So they've got a free kick, Luton, and look what happened. So Henry Lansbury's the there's another angle that comes up in a minute. He's just nudged the ball away. So look, they're all kicking off. Look, he just
hang on.
There's the one after this. You'll see the better angle. There you go. Look, he just. What do both you think?
If that's not endangering play,
then
I don't know what the words endangering play means anymore. So for me, it's got to be it's a straight red.
They both got a yellow, didn't they?
Why did they get a yellow?
Because he kicked the ball away. So I was talking to the fisherman this morning, and I said I do agree with him. If you watch it again, he's gone to take the free kick, Lansbury, from the ball that is still. No, just let me finish. And he's just nudged it. But I said to the fisherman, you can say that. Is he going to kick the ball that hard? Because if he kicks it that hard, he's kicking it out of Kenilworth Road, isn't he?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So he only got he got a yellow. He just got a yellow for that.
And he's ex-Norwich, so that's
he should have got
red all day long.
I've always liked it. I've always liked Lansbury.
So Lee Anderson said it's a yellow.
It can't be a yellow. Like even if the ball has been nudged away, you've still kicked a player. And you've set him 6 foot in the air on a free kick. You wouldn't call back for because the player wasn't 5 yards away. So you would have been called back by the referee anyway. It's one of those where every player does it in the game to try and get the other bloke booked. Because come on, ref, he's stopping play.
He's made himself look stupid there.
It's endangering play. Literally, you've got to look after each other. That's the rule, but that's what the rule says. You've got to look after each other.
Yeah.
Endangering an opponent.
Yeah.
Lee Anderson, was it high? It doesn't matter if it's high or not. He's fucking kicked him.
He's actually got up and kicked him in the leg. That's a red all day.
If you'd done that in the street, you'd get nicked for assault.
Yeah, you would. Yeah.
The fisherman says a yellow. I said to Mark this morning, it could be a case of that could be. You'll probably laugh at me, you two. It could be an orange card because it's like more than a yellow, but not quite a red. Maybe it's a red for me. It's a red. Let's flip it.
If to all the guys saying it's a yellow in the chat, if that happened in the game yesterday at 1-0, 85th minute, you'd all have been saying get him off. Get him off from the red, right?
Well, if it happens against Town, it's a red. If it happens for Town, get up. Nothing there. Because that's football, isn't it? But I don't know. It's a great. Red's a red, says Ben Moore. Ben Moore, nor is a 10. He says he only got to say about Manning for red for Lansbury. Surely who sent Manning the other side of Luton?
So Irvin's a ref. He says he's of the opinion it's not a red because he didn't see the player coming in to kick the ball away.
Wow.
Huh? Irv?
He's
looking straight at the bloke. Like, I mean, I love the fisticuffs afterwards. Like, it's all.
Flynn's in there.
We want to fight, but we don't. I mean, how can you not miss it? How can you not see him? That's outstanding. That's outstanding.
How are Luton in a higher division than us? How annoying. Do you know what I mean? That's another one that annoys me.
Nathan Tice. It's Nathan Tice, isn't it? The manager? Or have I got that name wrong?
Nathan Jones.
Nathan Jones. Thank you very much. See, I'm not great with names. It's a famous thing. No, but he's done what you always told don't do in football and gone back.
Yeah, he went
and he's gone back and made it a really successful.
He's done well there.
Thing, hasn't he?
Someone who fits. That's a good example. People were saying in the week, did Cook fit Ipswich? There's a great example. Nathan Jones, obviously, just his demeanour, his character, whatever it might be, tactics suit Luton. He's doing good there.
Jem says, didn't he see him? Is he Stevie Wonder? Colin Plum, 15 consecutive games lost under fire. Yeah, well, let's get to that right now, look, because Matt's been lining this up for a while. Here we go, media moment.
Well, this was my anti-goat. I didn't have a goat, so I've got 2 media mogul stories today. But this is great because I've decided to have a new segment called On the Full City, and Norwich have gone up as champions. What were they? Founded in 1902, and in this weekend they've been breaking records, and we know obviously that one of their greatest ever managers is Mike Bassett. The Mr. Clutch Cup, the Milk Cup, Take it, participants in the UEFA Cup. But this weekend they've set records. And Match of the Day with relish. Steve Wilson, the commentator, with relish, reeled out these records over their commentary when they lost 3-1 to Watford yesterday. First time they've ever lost their first 5 games in their cup history. 119 years. And first team to ever lose 15 consecutive Premier League games. You got little stats to put in there, Rich, haven't you?
Yeah, that's the one. The 15, yeah. Mine wasn't having that because he said that's over 2 seasons. But come on.
Well, we'll count it. Go read it out. Read it out for everyone on the pod, Rich.
Norwich City have now lost their last 15 Premier League matches under Daniel Farker, the longest losing run by any side in the English top flight history under a single manager.
On the full City, sliding down to the Championship. We'll see you next season. And there you go. No points. No points. Only team in the 4 top flight divisions who've got a 0 next to their name. Cry me a river. Love it. There we go. There you go, Martin.
Where was that laughter coming from?
We thought we'd put some canned laughter in there just for some effect. Yeah. Oh, you're mine. You're mute.
Oh, he's muted himself.
You've been laughing too much. And
I was crunching a sweet. Sorry.
What were you saying about Grant Hanley?
Grant. I mean, any team with Grant Hanley at centre half deserves to be bottom with 0 points and relegated. I mean, the guy's a liability.
What is it about them that they come in?
Oh no! Breaking news. So the only Falls and All star John Chalice, who played Boise, has died 79. Fucking, this is a shocking day because Jimmy Greaves passed away this morning, didn't he? 81. Yeah. Matt's got some stories. You got some Jimmy Greaves stories, haven't you?
I have. I'll save that for towards the end of the show. Yeah, I've got a good one. But
Richard Edwards believes the league season finishes on the 19th of September. Bless him. Some of your lovely supporters referred to Cheltenham Town as a pub team. I did, and I'll say it again. They are a pub team. When they beat you, I noticed they're up to 9th now. Unbeaten in 4. Call me in May, Richard. Call me in May. You won't be above us. Promise you that.
What is it about Norwich? They've won the title in the Championship at Cantor. They don't seem to have to compete in the Premier League. I don't get it. Look at Watford and Brentford, who finished below them. Comfortably mid-table.
Okay, what is it about? I mean, Norwich. I mean, someone on TalkSport said they were sort of cheating the system, didn't they? But the whole platform, the whole plan at Norwich seems to be go up, consolidate, don't overspend, get money, go back down stronger, come back stronger, go down, come back stronger, and then stay there for a while. But every time they come back, they seem to sell a best player like Emi Buendia. Surely the plan was you don't have to sell your best players like Emi Buendia because you've got the money and the strength of down and up. Because I mean, he was their catalyst last year, from what I can see and tell. And they sell him. Josh Sargent, to be fair, looks good, but
American kid, yeah.
They've been billing yesterday as their season starts now sort of game, and 3-1 at home to Watford. Penny for the thoughts of talk Norwich City boys, eh?
Yeah. Go and they've done like a 10-minute video, their match day experience. I did watch it yesterday, sort of chuckling. It's actually very good content they do for their fan base. So fair play to them. But they're in all sorts. I'd be thrilled if I was one of their fans.
They are. Women are 2-0 up thanks to Emerson Fairweather. EK again. EK on fire, Rich.
She was skipper last week.
She was. I saw that.
Yeah.
She deserved it, man.
It's going to be 7 on the bounce.
I've got them as my wildcard game this week in the Prediction League, which I'll announce tomorrow's show. They're the wildcard game against London Bees, so that'll be an interesting one. Because you've got to be score, you've got to get the score right, and so that the women's game, you might put a Ipswich Town FC women's win, but by how many? That's what it always turns into.
It'll be nil because they've not conceded.
Yeah. Do you go high enough? That'll be the question. Right. Have we got any? You haven't got a goat this week, have you, Matt? Because you don't. You're happy, la la la. But I know Rich has got one.
Another media mogul story for you.
Perfect. Well, let's have Richard's goat, and then we'll have your media mogul story. Richard Moss.
It's not.
Oh, do you want me to play the? There you go. Or, I didn't know you were expecting the intro there. Rich.
It's not football related. It's So with the weather we're getting in a minute, it's been quite mild, hasn't it? We're into September. Have you got loads of daddy long legs where you are?
No.
They are fucking everywhere around here.
Got moths.
Daddy long legs galore. I went to work the other morning, Matt, and I reckon in our canteen I must have killed 15. But
You
what do they
them,
do?
mate.
Daddy long legs, they're just...
Couldn't you have just like put them in your hand and let them fly off? You had to give
I
them
do. Try and stick them outside and maybe squash them in my fingers, possibly. But they're just a pain in the arse, aren't they? What is the point of them?
What is the
Like
point of
wasps. It's like wasps. Now, I don't see a lot of wasps around now. You used to, in the summertime, you had like... I remember they used to have the old jam jar when my gran was alive with the holes in, with a little bit of water in, and they'd sort of crawl in there for the jam and then drown, which was
Yeah. Someone told me once that the daddy long legs.
I mean, as Lee's brought it up, I think it's only fair we do show a couple of pictures
Now, do you
here.
ever go nice to this game? I'm calling my best mate there. There he is, Big AJ and Big Dave. I think Big Dave's taller than AJ. You know?
I think he is. You know that, or you've shrunk. Either one.
Yeah. Well, I was standing in a hole at Wembley then. So.
When's his next fight? Does he fight the weekend? Is that Spurs?
Next weekend, yeah, against Usyk. Here's a little betting tip for you. Usyk is 7-1 for a knockout win. Lump a little 5 or 10 on that for you. He's good, Usyk. I rate him. But going back to your daddy long legs, someone told me they've actually got enough venom to be one of the most venomous insects in the world, but they can't release it. Let's hope evolution doesn't suddenly give them the ability to do that. Otherwise, you're in trouble, Rich. They're coming back to it.
I've got a load of moths. If anyone wants one.
Moths. Yeah, I can only presume you've always got the window open, have you, for them to come in, and lots of lights.
It's a very hot and humid room, this one, because obviously behind me here is the electric clothes heater. I know climate energy people wouldn't be happy with those words, but there we go. And then I've got the lights for the green screen here. I'm not very well, so I'm obviously very hot and sweaty at the moment anyway. So yeah, the window's being open quite a bit.
What's the temperature in there?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, hot. I mean, this is a t-shirt that I'm wearing with nothing underneath it. Because I'm still, gushing it down. But there's a word for you, gush. James B, time of year day, long legs and house spiders. Greg Benton, their bite isn't strong enough to harm us.
We've had a lot of spiders.
We have.
Anything
else then, guys?
You've got a great one, haven't you?
Me?
Oh, you've got a go today.
You've got a really good go.
I have, but I wasn't. I woke up this morning in a bit of a two-mind situation because I ever want to work for them. This is not going to go well on the CV, is it? Fuck it, let's do it. Matchday commentary team. Have a word. I mean, I got several messages yesterday during the game from people listening on the radio as well that just weren't feeling it. And I think Brennan Woody probably is a fantastic guy. I'd love to go for a drink with him. I think he's seen a lot of sport, very knowledgeable. But it's BBC Radio Suffolk, and every other BBC Radio Suffolk local team seems to have a really passionate. When you hear on the radio, like clips come through, really passionate, or you listen to the
iFollow. Come out the line with about 15 minutes left, saying Lincoln could still win this game comfortably.
Well, he said something in the first half which sent, someone who's not very, over the top of passion, sort of. Did he just say that? Blah blah blah. He said something like, "I'm being very disappointed with Lincoln, and I was hoping for better." Fuck that! I ain't hoping for better. What am I hoping for better for? Like, no, they're shit. This is great. This is great. And then you've got Matthew, who great player but a bit dour.
I like Alex. By the way, anyway, tomorrow morning, Radio Suffolk, 7:50, fan on the phone.
Is it you?
Is it you? Yeah. So I just think a new voice, a new energy, Yeah. I think Brennan's a great guy, like I say. Like Roy Clark, Brennan missed the West Ham sending off on Tuesday night. And to be fair, I want homerism. I want somebody who is for Town and is sort of hell bent on. This is brilliant. Lincoln, I thought would be great, but we've outplayed them, we've outmuscled them, we've outfought them. Like, this is the one chance the Beeb surely at local level can be biased because you're for Suffolk.
Who do you support, Matt Brenner? Is he a Liverpool fan?
He's from the northeast. I don't know, but you're totally right. I've known Brennan for a long time. He's a really great guy, and he's done the commentary for a long time, hasn't he?
Give me Brian Knight and Terry Baxter. Them two together were just
they were very
gold because Baxter really loved the football club. And Brian Knight's obviously really did. And you just felt it. And I also have to say, sometimes I think when you see the imagery and you hear the words, that what you're seeing and what you're hearing ain't matching.
Yeah. That's why I said in the Friday night show, I feel like maybe iFollow or whatever Ipswich do in the future should have just a TV commentary team for those pictures if you're watching.
Jerry Maguire, why do they have to be neutral? They don't.
No.
No, we don't want them to be neutral. We don't really want them to be neutral.
Listen to old Norwich. You know, we got old Rob. Is it Rob Butler still at Norwich?
I think he might be.
Is as pro Norwich as you can possibly get, and I love him for it. I think it's brilliant. You know, be it, do it. But yeah,
remember Lee Bracey, Matt? He used to do co-coms with Baxter. He was really good. Never played for Town. He was a great co-commentator.
I do like Millsy. I mean, bloody hell, there's not many BBC radio outlets that have got an England captain doing punditry, so that's good. I think maybe they need a change. Maybe we just need a TV commentary for iFollow. I don't know.
I am available for TV commentary for iFollow. I reckon I've got quite a good silky voice. The watch songs we did, Rich, were quite good. You know, we keep getting asked to do more of them.
And he very rarely does it now. Donovan Blake. He used to pick up the mic on those Anglia midweek games.
If you had Brenner with somebody more biased, or Brenner and Matthew and someone more biased, you have that passion coming through. And sometimes you want the passion because you want to be there yourself. Like yesterday, I was desperate to be there, couldn't be, wasn't well at all. And you're listening on the radio, and I'm just thinking, make me there, paint me the picture, and put the passion in my ears, and then I'm going to feel like I'm there. Do you know what I mean? Like, but it's nothing personal. I think they're great. But
in media, like radio commentary is seen as being like the hardest thing because you can't have any dead air. You've got to keep talking. And Brenner, to be fair, if you listen to Radio 5 Live, 22 and a half minutes, they stop, don't they? Someone else comes in. So to be fair to Brenner, he doesn't.
Not at the minute.
But yesterday we had a bit of banter for once, and I liked it. No, they don't.
At the minute. Traditionally, they used to, didn't they? It's difficult. It is a difficult role.
Do you remember Sky? Mike Brown says they need fans on with the commentary. Do you remember when Sky used to do the commentary? You could go over and have different commentary.
Lewis Boamorte, Fulham, that one. That's a great clip. That's really good. Jem says on the bottom commentary last week, the commentator said after Bolton's second goal, how do Ipswich like those apples? And also yesterday, the banter from Matthew and Brenner came through a little bit, and I liked that. I want that.
Yeah.
We said about how he's been seeing him eating that pie, and he wanted to try and get him on. I liked that. That's what I want. That banter, that jokes, that we're not doing Radio 5 Live here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's regional, isn't it? Yeah.
All right. That's me. Ben Moore, Heimer's co-commentator, is a local lad and loves the club. Me and you, Gov, on commentary.
That was to be fair, that was his first time he'd done it, wasn't it, Heim? I didn't think he was that good, really, but Darren Ambrose has been good. But you only get better if you keep on doing it, right? So give him another go.
Well, yeah, in some cases. But look, I'll never diss anybody for doing anything live because trust me, as you two know and I know, anyone else does the show, live is hard. Live is hard. It's exciting, but it's also hard. Matt Stannard cranked me up last week. The Norwegians kept unplugging Radio 5 to use their feed. Where was that for?
What do you guys think of Foz doing the PA?
No, not for me.
No, very good DJ. Obviously did it for like 30 plus years, but I don't see why they've got him in on the PA. It just sounds like, I tell you what it sounds like to me. I don't want to do Foz down because obviously a top-notch DJ. But when you go to like a village fete and then they've got some bloke on the thing goes, can Reverend Humphreys please come to the cake tent for the Battenberg Bake-Off voting? Thank you. It just seems to like get some energy in there a little bit. You know what I mean?
I detest the PA this year, not because of Foz.
It's too loud for you,
because it's too loud, and it gets to that point where it's not enjoyable. I like Foz. I think Foz is a great DJ. Loves his local music.
Absolutely, yeah.
And actually, what you're missing is obviously Rob Chandler's halftime. What's the word I'm looking for here?
No personality.
I wouldn't go that far. But how many times last year at halftime did Rob Chandler make something out of nothing and make a joke out of something, make you laugh? And that's not a diss on Foz. I think Foz is great. I just don't know if they've given him the right situation and tools to go and do it yet. It's still early days, and when you're replacing Chandler, who has been there for years and done it for years,
Mike Brown, anyway, just let him go on with Brenner. You actually have to be at the game, Mike Brown, so you wouldn't be able to do that.
Oh, don't be saying that to him. Don't be saying that. Right. Anything else before we close? Because it's a positive day. We've won the game of football. Tomorrow we'll dig a little bit deeper with George Nunn and Curtis Yates. That's interesting, right? Because both were anti-Cook. I want to grab their thoughts tomorrow, in terms of a foundation piece, or is it a plaster, and see where they're feeling now. I've got the prediction league, so lots coming up tomorrow. But anything else before we? Do you
want a quick Jimmy Greaves story to remember Jimmy, the legend?
Yes, please.
Well, back in my FA days, we did an event where the 66 squad that didn't get a medal on the day, because only the people that played on the day, even Alf Ramsey didn't get one, they never got medals. So the FA sort of lobbied FIFA to say, you know, there was a squad of players, even Alf Ramsey, been knighted since, should deserve a medal. And FIFA eventually went on for years this, and FIFA eventually said, we will do that. So it was decided we had to coincide with going to Downing Street to get the medals from Gordon Brown with an England game. And of course, trying to get something in the calendar is difficult for the two. So it was decided that they would use England versus Andorra as the game, right? So we phoned round, but we didn't have a number for Jimmy Greaves. And I knew someone who knew his son, Danny. You might remember, Richie, he was quite heavily involved with the Essex cricket shop. I don't know if he still is. He was heavily involved with that. So they gave me the number. So I phoned up Danny and I said, this is what we're doing. He said, well, let me tell you, here's my dad's number. He lives in Chelmsford, same as me. He said, here's my dad's number. What you'll do is you'll tell him what's going on and he'll say he's not going and protest, and then he'll change his mind and say he's going. So my heart is like beating out of my chest. Right? I've now got to phone Jimmy Greaves, haven't I? So I'm dialing the number, and Danny's mum picks up, and so I said, "Oh, is Jimmy there, please? It's Matt from the FA." So they put me over. I said, "Jimmy, look, you've got your FA, your World Cup medal now, and we'd like to invite you to Wembley to see a game." He goes, "Brilliant, mate. What game is it?" So Andorra. He goes, "Did you just say Andorra? And bloody Dora?" He said, "I'm not going to that. I ain't going to be bothering to go to that." I said, "Well, look, just think about it if you want to go, because like you're going to get your medal. We're going to Downing Street. You'll have a VIP night. It'll be great." And then I think I spoke to his wife again and told her what was going on. And then they agreed. They agreed that they would come. And we had a brilliant day. We was on the England coach. We went to Downing Street. They got the medals off Gordon Brown, and it was all on news at 10. They came back and watched the game. And then at half time, of course, we put all the players down, so they would all get the reception from the fans. And so it was like a full house and that. And so I had them all out, all in order. And I thought, well, I've got to put Jimmy last, haven't I? I've got to have Jimmy last. And the guy had it. So they're all going out one by one. Peter Bonetti went out. Ron Flowers went out. All these guys that Colin will remember. So it's just me and Jimmy now in the tunnel, isn't it? And then so they've got the thing. And last but not least, an icon of the English game. He scored X amount of goals for England. He played for this. And Jimmy suddenly turns around to me and goes, "You'd be really up shit street if I had to go to the toilet now, wouldn't you?" And he sort of starts making his way to go to the toilet. I was like, "What are you doing? You're getting announced." He said, "Oh, I'm only joking. And out he went, and he took the applause of the fans. It was absolutely brilliant. But he had a lot of demons in his life, Jimmy, because obviously he had.
Have you watched the documentary on BT, Matt, about him?
I've not seen that yet. No,
I'm hoping that they might show that again, because that's fantastic, you know. And it's rather apt today, isn't it, that Spurs are playing Chelsea, because they were.
I know, how weird is that? I was saying that.
He played for.
How weird is that those two are playing? But yeah, he had a lot of demons, Jimmy, and I remember going up to where they were in the Royal Suite, and he didn't sit with everyone else because obviously they were drinking at the tables, and him and his agent Terry Baker, they sat together. And you could see in his eyes that it was a real battle for him. So it's really sad because talented player. He was really good fun. Like I say, did that joke.
I think he got 44 England goals in 58 games.
You know, he would have played in the final if he hadn't got injured and Jeff Hurst had come in. But
works out.
He was just a fun character. Like, you know, you've got his name being read out there and he's making out he's going to go to the toilet. I was like, I was having an heart attack myself. What are you doing?
For me, that's where commentary and punditry particularly, needs to get back to. That old school type. It's about the game of football and less about Mr. Roy Keane or Gary Neville or Carragher or whatever it is these days. Like, I still remember a clip of him, Eltel, Des Lynam discussing Grant Taylor and the effect of obviously them not qualifying, I think, for the World Cup, was it? Or the European Championships, and why that was, and maybe the foreign influence. But it was all about the football and not about them as individuals. And nowadays, you listen to the commentary before the games, and it's more about the pundit than it is
sound bites, isn't it? You want Roy Keane having a go at people, but just go back on YouTube and watch Saint and Greasy if you've never watched it. It was so ahead of its time. It's basically this format we're doing here. It was almost like a podcast on TV, but of course no one had anything to compare it to. But it was that kind of content, way ahead of its time. And that's
always good when it was. I always remember them too, Matt, when it was FA Cup final.
Yeah,
you know, the build up you'd have to the FA Cup final started at like 9 in the morning, didn't it? The show was on.
Yeah,
but great play. I think, like Lee says, if you don't realise how good he was, watch that documentary, because he was fantastic. He obviously went out to Milan, and he got a few goals out there. Then he came back, Chelsea, West Ham.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just really sad, isn't it?
Bad, yeah.
Absolutely. Lots of love for the ending song in the chat. I've just said I'll post that on Twitter and Facebook. But yes, Jimmy, today's a bad day then. Greaves and Boise. Just
they did. Was it 40 years of Only Fools and Horses? I think there's like a show on iPlayer.
They did Green Grass, didn't they? Boise, Marlene, and Tyler.
Mate,
that's it. That's the lad.
Again, of its time, 80s comedy. So watch it back now. I'm still laughing. Del Boy falling through the thing. I thought my dad was going to have a heart attack laughing at that. I can still picture him doing that now. Brilliant.
Marlene. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Right, I've got to play our Ipswich Buses advert, and then I'm going to finish off with Paul Cook.
Ipswich Buses, your local bus company serving your football team. Buses run every 10 minutes. Avoid the traffic. Don't get stuck in the delay. Get Ipswich Buses today. A single £1.20, a return only £2. Find out.
There it is. Don't forget, you can go contact us now on all Ipswich bus routes. But we're going to close with Cookie after what has been a long week or couple of weeks for him. Team came through. Do you want to say anything before I play it? You've all seen the clip. Is there anything you want to say?
Colin met Mike O'Leary yesterday, and he told him, I think he'd been up to Liverpool twice this week, Paul Cook, and he was going after the game yesterday. So I think, look, people have been giving him a bit of stick. Some warranted, some not, I think. But you just have to remember, at the end of the day, he's like us. He's a human being, and he's got feelings, and it was lovely yesterday that we got that victory, and he's look, we needed it, but I think he needed it as well. He really did need it.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's great to see the fan base sort of rally around that. Look, me and Martin are both lost our dads. It's the worst thing in the world. So for him to go out there and still do his job and get us a win, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Well done, Paul.
Absolutely. This is Talking Town, an FCA finalist 2021. That is the Media Mogul. That is the Cruncher. We are back tomorrow at 8:30 with Curtis and George. But until then, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Town of One. It's been a great weekend. Don't forget to subscribe, like, support us on Ko-Fi. But here is our leader, and all our thoughts, they go with him today. Paul, well done.
Don't forget, we had a tough result at home against West Ham in the Johnson's Paint when we're trying to give other lads a chance to say who play. Christian Walton got an injury yesterday, and you see Vaz coming today. He was magnificent. Yeah. Hayden Coulson goes off, Matt Penny will come in. And this is the thing at football clubs, you don't have time to sulk. There's no sulking, you've got to work hard, we've got to be fit, we've got to be strong. And that was a really good game of football today. We got tested, 7 minutes of injury time. And you haven't won all season, he put 7 minutes up, and it's the most painful 7 minutes. And as I think people know, it's been a really tough week for me. I'm going back to see my family tonight.